What if anyone on your team could analyze a research data set in less than 10 minutes? That's not hypothetical, that's StatGenius. We call it the world's first PhD in a box, an AI platform that turns raw data into real scientific discoveries and insights, exactly like having an army of researchers at your disposal. Here's what that means in practice. StatGenius handles the complex mathematics, the statistical work that your senior analysts spend years trading for. It transforms your data, recommends the right analysis techniques, and then crawls across your entire enterprise in real time. For your business, that means faster turnaround times, lower costs, and insights team that spends less time crunching numbers and more time doing the work that really matters. Compare this to alternatives like SPSS. StatGenius automates all the clicking that you have to do in other packages so that you can get straight to the insights. For example, research taking 4 to 6 hours with SPSS on the left will now take 30 minutes or less with StatGenius on the right. Today we're going to talk about 3 capabilities and what that might mean for your agency or brand. For the demo, we're going to pretend like we are Coca-Cola or someone similar and want to analyze a beverage preferences survey. The purpose of this project is to advise our clients how to launch a new drink brand. The first capability that we're going to discuss is our Explorer crawler. Explorer is best used when you've just received a new dataset, and then you want someone to report about every notable observation all at once. It gives you directionality and saves you hours of work by telling you where the trends are that you need to deep dive into. Imagine asking an army of statisticians to report back everything they found in your data set within 90 seconds. That's what Explorer does. Here's how it works. The user has just uploaded the beverage preferences survey. We're going to pick a couple of variables to start, but the crawler is going to scan every variable and trend in your data. It starts with the variables that you selected, and then it looks through the entire data set to find relationships, interesting or unexpected observations, and potential segments to explore. And just like that, we've produced a list of every statistical insight in your data. This includes charts and crosstabs, but what's really interesting is that it also found statistical trends between multiple variables, and then it described them in plain language that anyone can understand. Now that we've identified some initial trends, our client wants to dig deeper into what drives a consumer's willingness to try a new brand. The good news here is that you don't need SPSS, and you don't need to be a mathematician. All you need is to select the variable that you want to investigate, and then pick a few others that you'd like to evaluate the relationship with. What's amazing about StatGenius isn't that it just runs the analysis you ask for. What's really revolutionary is how it tells you what analysis you should be asking for, because it knows the data set faster than you do. For example, before running the analysis, we're going to ask StatGenius to suggest variables for us. And just like that, it surfaces data points we never would have thought to ask for. Now we're analyzing all the relationships that we selected. At no point does anyone have to tell it how to do the math. It knows when to use ANOVA, a chi-square, or a Pearson correlation. That's why StatGenius can be used by people who aren't trained in mathematics. It handles all the decision-making, and it interprets the results into plain language that anyone can understand. We also make it easy to build visually interesting charts and crosstabs. If you need a more comprehensive view, our banners are easier to use than any other platform out there. The last thing we'll show you today is segment analysis. There are 2 features here that we can help with: finding clusters in your data and analyzing those segments or other segments your clients have predefined. StatGenius makes it effortless to discover clusters in your data, just like you see here. But what we're most excited about is how much time you'll save when you're comparing what makes one segment unique from another. Typically, users fill large banners, crosstabs, and then use the eye test to compare segments, and that can take hours. What if instead you could instantly know every single variable and value that makes your segment unique? That's exactly what StatGenius does. In seconds, you can tell your clients the best way to market to them, or in this case, which beverage brand will sell in the market. There's so much more that StatGenius does. Here's a few of the features that your team will find useful. Instantly create dashboards and online reports to share with managers and clients. Generate powerful PowerPoint presentations and distribute them to stakeholders automatically by geography or brand. Implement weighting in your datasets and synthesize new research insights by reusing the older data spread across your entire enterprise. No additional survey fielding is required. For questions, reach out to us at StatGenius.io and make sure to visit our community page for articles on quantitative analysis and our criticism of synthetic panel respondents.